Hello and welcome everyone to a new session of mock interview. Today we are having Siddhas over here. Siddhas, can you introduce yourself to our audience here?
Yeah, hello. Hi, Sanat. So I am Siddesh. I am currently looking for a job in
Yeah.
front-end developer role.
Mhm.
Uh, I used to work in Capgemini earlier, but due to some like I have left the organization 3 years back,
Okay.
and now earlier I used to work in IT support, but now I am looking for front-end developer role.
Okay. So if you are looking for front-end developer, just can you tell me about how what you differentiate from front-end development with back-end development, and what is basically if you are working in a project, can you explain how the flow of data happens and what basic happens in a complete full stack application basically?
Oh, full stack. Okay. So basically, you mean to say how exactly the web page
How
and
how
all
it
loads,
works basically? How an
how?
application generally works?
Okay. So basically, the web page, uh, first the files are loaded JavaScript, HTML, and CSS files are
Hmm.
loaded from the network,
Okay.
and the HTML first parsing is done.
Hmm.
HTML parsing is done,
Hmm.
and then uh, after HTML parsing, the CSS file is loaded,
Hmm.
and
Okay. So you said HTML, CSS parsing is done, and what about the script file?
yeah,
What about
uh,
JavaScript file?
script file is also loaded. Script is basically the parsing blocking file.
Hmm.
Script we have to basically use async defer for script file so that it doesn't block the parsing of
Okay.
HTML,
Hmm.
and when basic and also the CSS is the render blocking file. For CSS, it stops the rendering until and unless all the CSS files are loaded.
Hmm.
Okay, and once this rendering is done,
Hmm.
then it moves to the layout part,
Okay.
and after the layout is done,
Hmm.
it the pixels are shown on the web page. Pixels are shown on the screen for the user,
Hmm. Hmm.
and from backend, the data through API is sent,
Hmm.
which we can use which you can use like for image, text, and all, or any other data.
Okay.
So we can fetch that data through a fetch API and all.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay. So two, three
that's
things we have said right now. First of all, you said the HTML parsing. Okay. So what do you mean by parsing? Basically, what happens in parsing?
in HTML parsing, the line by line code of HTML, uh,
Hmm.
it generally make a structure
Hmm.
for HTML, like the DOM tree is created,
Okay.
and all the tags and all in one specific one DOM tree is created.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you said about something called async and defer reused in
Yeah.
parsing. So what is that about?
So in the async, usually in the normal process, if you add the script tag,
Mm,
first HTML parsing is done, and
mm,
once it get the sorry not completed, once the HTML parsing is started, and
mm,
if we get the script tag, the
mm.
parsing is stopped in between, and then
Okay.
the HTML parsing script JavaScript uh, file is loaded and then executed, and then again the whatever passing is remaining, it is start and is completed.
Mm.
Okay, and
Okay. This is a normal way.
in async basically it is a normal way, and in async we can
Mm,
load the JavaScript file while the HTML parsing is still
mm,
in the process, and once the JavaScript file is loaded, it
mm,
stops the HTML parsing, it
mm,
completes first the JavaScript file execution, and
mm,
then again the HTML parsing is done.
mm,
And for async we have to just add one keyword async in the script tag,
mm.
And for defer, both for defer, uh, JavaScript file uh, for defer, like the first the HTML parsing is done, and at the parallelly JavaScript file is downloaded. No, sorry, just a second. For defer,
In defer, first parsing is done, then script will
for
be
defer,
loaded. Okay,
yeah,
that is
first one.
defer. In
Okay.
async, whenever it
Uh,
comes, first script, I mean, is that on downloading happens, then it continues.
mhm.
That is the difference between async. So, what
Yes.
is better, async or defer?
So defer is much better than async.
Defer is much better, you are saying. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you see, if I'm having two, three more script files, which is needed, in
Mhm.
that case, how it will work?
Sorry, 2, 3.
So you are saying async can differ if there is only one script file, maybe the some script.js is there. So one script file is there that you are downloading it. So you will use either async or differ for kind of how better you are making for the parsing as well as the downloading of the script file, right? If I'm having multiple script files to get downloaded, then in that case, what will happen? How that will work? How async and differ will work in that case?
Multiple files,
Yeah.
multiple script files means
Hmm.
we want to download them.
Yes.
Uh,
So if I give async to two different files, or maybe defer to two different files, or one async, one defer, in that case, how it will work? It's a valid question, right? This is a valid scenario.
yes, yes. For async, the files will be downloaded parallelly,
Mm.
and for defer, it will take some time after parsing. Once the parsing is completed.
Just
So
do Google search because this is a
best
very
case
important.
scenario will be async.
Correct, correct.
For multiple files, it should be async because parallelly they are getting downloaded, so it will not take much time.
Yeah.
Once
This is a
the
very important question. You just
Mhm.
go to medium.com or a good site. You check this question because this is a very important question and might be asked. Okay,
Yeah,
in multiple times. But this
okay.
is a good answer that you have given of what is async, what is differ, what is parsing, and whatever you are doing, all those stuff. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to us. So this basic question is done. Now let's come to our little bit on the JavaScript side of things. Okay. Okay. So tell
Mhm.
me, first of all, how to clone an object. Like what are the different ways that you know to clone an object? Do you know what is cloning, right? So what is cloning?
Yes.
How to clone an object and why to clone an object basically.
Like for cloning, uh, we can like
Now, what is cloning first? What is cloning an object means?
cloning means like doing the replica of that object, like
Okay.
making the replica of that object.
But why it is
And
needed?
it is so basically objects are like immutable.
Hmm.
So we if uh, sorry, objects and arrays are mutable actually,
Yes,
and
they are mutable,
cloning
but we have to make it immutable. So that
for we
why
want
we
to make it
shouldn't why we should make it immutable? Because there are reference types.
so that the files like yeah reference, yes,
Correct, right? Yeah, go
reference
ahead.
address will be changed.
Yes, yes. That's the reason we have to
So
create a clone of an object always and then use it.
yeah,
If you don't create the clone, the source of truth, that is the original object, that will get modified. If it modifies everywhere, wherever we use, that will be modified. Always create a clone of the object. Now, what is the different way of cloning
yeah.
an object?
Cloning, for cloning, like we can use array dist like object destructuring,
Mm-hmm.
and for
No, first of all, see, if someone
object
asks you,
destructuring, yeah.
That is correct, but when someone asks you what are the different types of cloning, you should say there are two different types of cloning. One is deep cloning and one is shallow cloning. Okay. Now, what is deep cloning? What is shallow cloning? You have to be aware.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now, what do you know what is the difference between shallow cloning and deep cloning?
No, actually.
Okay. So deep cloning means you just take the content of that particular object and create a new object without copying the reference of that object. Okay. That is shallow cloning.
Okay.
Okay. Deep cloning means you are kind of when you are doing when you are doing JSON stringified JSON parse, that is called deep cloning.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what are the different ways in which you can do shallow cloning? The different ways, are you aware of it? What are the different ways of doing shallow cloning of any JavaScript object?
No, actually.
Okay. So basically, the answer to this question will be you can use a spread operator. Okay.
Okay.
And you can, I might be wrong here, might be spread operator in maybe deep cloning or self cloning. I'm getting confused. But yeah, that is a way of doing cloning an object. Spread operator, that is one. Second is you have to do object.assign. Okay.
Okay.
Are you aware of what is a spread operator? What is object.assign?
Spread operator, I am aware. Spread operator we use for
Hmm.
arrays and object to like get the separate element from that object or array. Uh,
Basically, so
yeah.
if you want to create a new array out of an existing array, we use spread operator to get the content of the array and then create a new array, right? Correct, right?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
means that we're
Yes.
cloning that particular array, right? Or any
Yes.
object, correct, right? Okay. Similarly, using object.assign, before spread operator, we are using object.assign to
Okay.
create a new. So are you aware of it? What is object.assign? What it does?
No.
Same only, same. The syntax is a little different. You take an empty object, then you take a original object. You create a copy from the original object from the source to the target. Okay, just check
Okay.
the syntax. Okay, but this is an important question. What is cloning? What are the different ways of cloning? How to do cloning? What are the different examples? Someone will ask you different examples also.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Now, so do you know what is memoization in JavaScript?
Memoization. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, basically, we store some like previously calculated values
Hmm.
in our local storage cache so
Hmm.
that the next time when we try to execute that same if we try to calculate the same values and all, we can fetch the data from the local storage so that it can reduce the response time.
See, you don't need to use a local storage for it. Local storage is not involved in memoization because see, local storage without memoization also you can use store values in local storage, right? So why we need memoization in that case?
uh,
Correct, right? So memoization without using local
yes,
storage, how you
yes.
will do?
Without using local storage.
See, for local storage, we don't need to use memoization because local storage is for storing something. So memoization basically a technique of caching a previously, kind of a previous. So suppose if you are doing multiple tasks at a time, suppose I'm having a function sum, okay, and that sum function I am just doing
Mhm.
whatever value you are passing, I'm adding 5 to it. Okay, that means whenever I'm
Yes.
calling that function, it will add 5 to that particular number that you are passing, right? Now, if I'm calling the
Yes.
function 10 times, so 10 times the same
Mm.
operation will be happening, right?
Right.
Right? Which means that memory will be allocated, deallocated, allocated, deallocated from to where? So suppose you are calling a function, some variable is there, to variable that memory will be allocated. When the function call is over, the memory will be deallocated. So allocation, deallocation, allocation. So many things happen, right? So many memory is consumed. Then the space complexity, time complexity also is more in that case. So now
Yes.
here, what we have to do so that we don't need to do that operation every time that we call the function. That is the concept of memoization where we
Yes.
keep the solution of this particular problem. And whenever for that particular number, if I am doing a calculation again, then I will just get the return. I'll just get a solution,
Yes.
right? That is the concept of memoization, right?
Yes.
Now, where local storage come into picture here? Nowhere, right? It's not related to local storage at all.
Okay. So basically, that the value we have to store right somewhere.
No,
Previously
value you
calculated
can
value.
store in an object itself.
object directly. Okay.
In any object you can have it. But how better
Okay.
you can use memoization is up to you, how technique you are using. Because if you store inside that object is there inside the function. Okay, I'll
Mhm.
share my screen and I will show you. Then you answer me. Okay, 1 second. I'll just open a script file. Then I will share you. Just uh, answer me. Okay. 1 second. The screen.
Yes, it is visible.
So what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
1 second. So what I'm saying is I'm having a function here. Okay. And that function is a sum function. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm having the sum function. I'm passing the value n to it. And I will just always return n plus 5. Okay. So if
Okay.
I'm calling the sum function, I'm passing the value 2. So it should return
Mhm.
what, 7. Right?
7.
So if
Yeah.
I'm just calling the sum function again, I don't want to return. So here again, the same allocation, deallocation happens. Here again, the same allocation. So that means wherever I'm repeating, okay, there where what we can
Yes.
use recursion. Instead of repeating everything, we
Yes.
can use recursion. So for
Yeah.
recursion, how to use recursion also will, kind of will be allocating memory and deallocating memory, right? It will be doing it.
Yes.
How to prevent that
Yes.
memory allocation? Okay, that repetitive task, how to prevent it? That can be prevented here if I just do something like this. That okay, I just have something called cas here, and that cas what we'll do is I will just tell here if n in cas means whatever value you are passing, right? So I'm just
Mhm.
checking if inside the cas this particular, I'll tell you what is n here. N is a property. So in an object we store values in the form of property and values, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if that n is there in that cas or not. If it is there, just return the value n. Not value n is not the number, but the value that is there in the n. Else, what I have to do is, else I'll just move this guy up. Okay. Else, instead of returning here, what I will do is cas
Mhm.
of n, okay, equals to n plus 5. Now what happens here? And then I will return this cas. Return cas of n.
Yeah.
Now what?
So value will be returned from the object, cache object.
Now you see.
If the input which we are giving, if that value, if that input is available already, like available in the key
Yes.
property of that object,
Yes.
then it will be satisfy the
Returning.
condition and it will return the direct value from the object instead
Correct.
of computing that whole
Correct.
function.
So in the initial case, these two, so initially there won't be something like 2 and 7, right? This will be not. So 2 as a property and 7 as a value is not there initially. So this, if I pass here 2, is n in
Yes.
cache? No, it was not there initially. So what it will do is that then it will create a property of 2 and calculate this value 7, and then it will store in the cache. Okay. So initially it will do the allocation and deallocation process. So, but the second time when you do, it will check whether n is there in cache. Yes, if this value is there, right? So this value is there in the cache. So now what it
Yes.
will do? It will direct do a return. Understood now?
Mhm.
So this is the concept of
It will,
memoization.
yes, yes.
So this is the concept of memoization. So this is called memoization. Okay. Okay. Now,
Yes.
how to do so? This is a global value.
Yes.
So this is a global value. If it is var or let whatever. So there are a lot of problems that
Mhm.
happens with global values, right? If you have global values, a lot of problems
Yes.
happens, right?
Yes.
So now
Yes.
how to, if I may bring this guy below,
Mhm.
if I bring this guy inside the function, what will happen? Every time I do a sum function, this will be getting, it will be destroyed when it is called, and it will be again initialized. Then there is no point of memoization. Memoization will not work, right?
Yeah, correct.
Correct, right? Because it is getting
Yes.
initialized every time I call the function and get destroyed every time the function call
Yes.
is over. Then how it will store value?
Yes. Yes.
It won't store value. So in JavaScript, there is a concept of closure, right?
Yes.
That concept tells that what you can do is that you can have the cache inside the outer function, and in the inner function, you can have this concept over here, this logic over here.
Okay.
Now, if I move this guy
Yeah.
this much inside the curly braces, what happens? If I move inside, here I can
Yeah.
assign, here I can access the cache, right? Because this is a inner
Yes. Yes.
function. So inner function always has access to the outer function variables,
Yes.
right? So here I can access. Now this is not a global variable, it is internally to this function, but
Mm.
this value I can access even if I've already called this sum function. So basically, whenever we are doing a function call, this function call, memory is allocated to cache, and when the function call ends, the memory should be deallocated, right? In other languages. But in
Yes.
JavaScript, because of the concept of closure,
Mhm.
okay, this particular memory, so Java should understand that okay, this variable is used inside the that, so it will not deallocated this particular, it will not get garbage collected. Okay, so that's the reason this value can be accessed inside also. Okay, now because
Yes.
of closure, this memoization now works. But here, when you are calling it, you can't call in this manner. You have to call in this manner. That means you have to call this sum function first. Okay, and the
Mm.
sum function will return this particular function, and we have to call this particular. So this n will be passed over here now, not here. Okay, here it will be called like this.
Yes.
Did you understand this one?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, this is called function currying.
Yeah, occurring.
Okay, or you can assign this particular to any function, and then you can call that function.
Yes.
Right now, memoization. This is the concept of memoization, wherein we use closure to
Mhm.
cache something and then utilize it.
Okay.
Okay, this is the concept of memoization. Clear, right?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
ask what is memoization, you have to explain it, and you have to write an example and to show it, and how in JavaScript memoization can be used. And so
Mm.
those things are there. So you might be aware that what is what you call Fibonacci series, right? So in Fibonacci
Yes.
series, we use recursion to do the calculation over here. There also you can use memoization concept, because even recursion also consumes a lot of. I'll just stop sharing again. Okay, even recursion consumes a lot of memory, right? Because memory has to be allocated, deallocated, allocated, deallocated, right? Now,
Yes. Yes.
so in that case, also you can use memoization to store the values of the previous previous results, and then you can use the previous result to your current result, right? That is how. Basically, it is a concept of
Yes.
dynamic programming. Are you aware what
Yes.
is
Yes.
dynamic programming?
Uh, Dynamic programming. The term. No,
No,
actually.
no, okay. So in DSA, in algorithm, data structural algorithm, there is a concept called dynamic programming. So there is searching, sorting, all these things are there, right? There is something called dynamic programming also. So dynamic programming is how better you can solve a problem, okay, in a more optimized way.
Mhm.
So memoization is a concept of dynamic programming.
Okay.
Okay, caching, memoization, and
Okay.
recursion,
Okay.
how to better use recursion, all those things are there. Okay, okay, I think this was a little bit of a complex kind of a topic. I shouldn't have asked, but yeah, okay, that you learned it, right? How to answer this kind of questions, right? Okay,
Yes. Yes.
okay, so next what we'll do is let's discuss about prototypes. So you are aware of prototypes? What is prototype?
Yes. Prototype.
Okay, tell me what is prototype and how to use it, why to use it first.
Prototype is like the method which we can create,
Hmm.
uh, and we can attach it with any uh, object,
Okay.
so that we can use that method.
Hmm.
Uh, like we can use that method with that object to get any response.
No, I'm
Uh,
not clear. Tell again.
so basically, uh, we can attach a prototype with any
Mm-hmm.
object.
Mm.
It is basically like any method. We use the prototype to attach a method with an object, so that we can call that method and we can get the response from that object, any like details or anything.
Okay. Prototype is there only in object or any other data type also in JavaScript? So you said prototype is attached to this object, right? So it is there in only object or any other data type?
Array object. Uh, for arrays and object,
See, basically
I think for
everything in JavaScript is object. Okay, whether it's a function that is
object,
an
yeah, right.
object, array is an object is also an
Yes,
object. Everything in
yes,
JavaScript object. Since everything is an object in JavaScript, everything has a prototype attached to it. Even a function also has a prototype. Okay, when you are
yes.
doing a function call, just write function dot constructor dot prototype. Proto you will write. Then it will give you the prototype of that particular function. Okay,
Okay.
but now understood, right? What is prototype?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, I mean, what is the role of prototype in JavaScript?
Role of prototype. So we can like so if we create any method using the prototype, and if we attach that method to any particular uh, uh, class, so all the objects or anything which is created from that class will get that method, and we can use that method to work on that objects.
That you can do through normal object only. So you can use a constructor, create an object, have that put all the methods inside that constructor. So you can get access all the objects of that using that constructor will get access to all these methods, right? That we don't need prototype for that. So I'll answer. See, what happens is, suppose you don't want to create an kind of a, you don't want to instantiate a object through the constructor. Okay, you don't want to do it. So in that case, what we'll do is we have to create a method or property, whatever inside the prototype. In that case, it will get access to all the objects of that particular constructor without instantiating it. You don't need to instantiate it. Okay. But why prototype is needed? Basically, prototype is needed for inheritance. Okay. Because JavaScript is not a oops, I mean, it doesn't have oops, right? It's not an object-oriented programming language. Basically, we don't create. So when you say it, parent class, child class, those are there in TypeScript, but TypeScript also internally uses JavaScript. And it is not a completely, kind of a oops language. It's not completely. I mean, you can tell it can be oops. It does behaves like oops, but it is not, because internally it also uses prototypal inheritance. So in prototypal inheritance, what happens in the parent component, in the parent child, parent object, whatever properties and methods are there, if you want to inherit that to the child, what you have to do? In oops language, what you do, you have to create an object of that particular class, and you have to do inherit, use super keyword and all those things you have to do, right, to inherit it. Here in JavaScript, we use prototype to inherit it. Okay. So if I just create a simple string, okay, and if I just write string dot length, right, so how it gives the length number of characters in that string, right?
Yes.
How does this length property came? We have not created it. How it came? Because
Yes.
string, if you just, what is the type of a string? What is the type of operator of a string? Now this will be interesting. What is the type of a string?
It is an like object, like.
Okay, I'll just share the screen again. I will do that activity. Okay. So I'm just saying is, so okay, I'll just type, if I just write type of a string of my name, I'll just write. What is the answer to this? The answer will be a string, right?
String, yeah, string.
Okay. But if I just do a type of a string, for example, one string. So it will be, I'm not sure, but it will give object, because the string as a its parent is also in capital O. You see capital O written. right? So that's the
Yes.
reason when I write here, suppose I just create a var str equals to my name, I'll just write. Okay. And when I write str dot, I get this length, character at whatever. These are all methods I'm getting. Character at particular maybe index for.
Yes.
If I just do a dot, you can, obviously you can next all this method. What I'm trying to say is that if I just want to use an, so if I want to use the properties of this parent object here, then I have to just write a dot prototype. Okay. I think it will be like dot proto like this. Okay. Proto.
Good.
And then dot, if I do, then here it is not visible, but when you do in the browser's console, now there you will see that here it will give all the list of properties and methods of this object, uh, parent object, from where everything is
Yes.
derived. Got it?
Mhm.
Understood, right? How prototypal inheritance,
Yes. Yes.
right? So this particular parent object has a lot of properties and methods that get transferred to this particular string object. And then that string object has its own properties method like caret, length, index of, all these things are there.
Yes.
That get utilized when we create the instance of an object of the string object through this. So basically, if I'm using these, what I'm doing. So in TypeScript, this would have been that they would say that you have not given the string type. So in TypeScript, you have to write a string, as it will not work, right? Because it's a strongly typed language, not in JavaScript.
Okay.
You have to write here, right? So here it is clearly visible that you are creating this str variable has a type of value is of type string, which means that all the string properties methods will be used by this particular str variable. Correct, right? So a prototypal inheritance, what it does is transfer data
Yes.
properties methods you can access from the object as well as in the child will be used when you create the instance set of this child. Okay, now I understood what is the rule of prototype, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Uh, so we discussed memoization, we discussed prototype. What else is that? So I'm just, you are applying for how many years of experience?
Uh, for in front end, I am not having any experience, but
Okay.
for other like IT support, I am having experience.
Okay. But obviously you will take that experience and then try to apply that 2, 3, 3, 4. How much experience you are having in IT
Mhm.
support?
Three,
Three. So you will
three
tell that
years.
3 years experience in front end. So I'm assuming that
Yes.
you will
Yes.
apply for 3 year experience in front end, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Got it. So, you are aware of any kind of any higher order? What do you know what is higher order functions?
Yeah. Higher order functions are basically the function who received another function as an argument.
Okay,
They
but
get
what is
another function as an argument.
okay. So can you give an
And
examples of any higher order function you have used till now?
like for uh, any multiple like for addition,
No, simple. You are using
if we
array
want to
map,
calculate like
map for
addition,
each.
multiplication.
Okay. No, I'm just saying simple map, filter, for each. These
uh,
methods that are array methods, these are
mhm.
all higher order functions, right? Because they always
Yeah.
accept a function as an argument
Okay.
and
Okay.
then use it, right? So if someone asks what are examples of higher order function, just say this:
Yes.
array map, for each, filter,
Mm,
find by
my
index,
filter.
every
Okay.
sum. These are all methods of
Okay.
examples of higher order functions.
Reduce.
Reduce, okay. Reduce, you said, okay. Can you write a,
Okay.
can you write a
Okay.
program using reduce?
Mhm.
Can you share your screen and write a program using reduce? I'll give you a program.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, please share your screen, then I'll give you an example. Open any online editor.
I'm getting one error. Sharing is not turned on. Whole
Okay,
screen.
I'll enable you. Wait.
Online editor.
Hmm. Just open an online editor, I'll make you post.
Can I open my Visual Studio or
Yeah, any editor. I've made you a co-host. You can share your screen and then we'll do it. Okay, first explain while sharing. Explain me what is reduce or what it does.
So basically, reduce get like multiple get array as an input with the multiple values, multiple elements,
Okay.
and it gives the single output.
Okay.
It has like one accumulator and another is the current item, and it computes the calculation and all, and it returns the accumulator value at the end.
Okay. Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, just a second.
No need to open with the live server, everything. Okay, no problem. So just okay, let's do a couple of examples in reduce. Okay, take an array of numbers, and what I want you to do is just get the sum of all the numbers using reduce.
Sum of all the.
Simple.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
No, just use a dot reduce and then do it. No, what I'm saying is A is a
Just,
reduce. Yeah, just do it.
just a second.
No, the syntax is wrong. Not
Yeah.
like this. The syntax is wrong. No, you have to pass a higher order function. No, you have to pass a function inside reduce. Inside that parameter will be accumulator and the item. Just write a dot reduce and then pass a function inside it. Mm. Mm. Pass a callback function, so arrow function inside it. No. Pass a function. Just.
So there will be
Here you will write
accumulator
accumulator and the item.
item.
Mm. Mm.
So
Now the question is very simple. Just add the values of the
yes. Initial will be 0.
Okay. Yeah, so this is done. There is nothing to be done more. Okay. You just need to return the accumulator. That's it. Nothing else. After calculation, just return the accumulator. Finish.
Yes.
Okay. So it will return you the sum of all the numbers. Okay. So now you see the maximum number is 15, right? So using radius, how you will calculate the next question. This is next question. How to calculate the highest value of list of values inside a array.
Highest value.
So now the highest value is what, 15, right?
Yes.
So now how to find the value 15, that is the highest number of any list of numbers in an array.
So we can use filter option for that.
No,
Filter
I am
method.
asking you to do using radius, you do it.
Reduce. Okay, reduce. Okay. Yeah. So here we can change the condition and accumulator. If item is greater than accumulator, then we can
Right, write it
store
down.
it
Write
in
it
the
down.
accumulator. Item is greater than accumulator, then uh, accumulator will be the item. First we get 10, and then if 10 is accumulator value is 0, so yeah, in this way we can solve it.
Yeah, this is the only way. Okay, just
Yes.
return accumulator, then it will work. This will work, right? Now,
Yes.
similarly for the lowest value also like that. Then next question can I'm thinking about different question that can come using radius, using
Okay.
simple question. I'm just whatever is coming in my mind. I'm just testing your skills, how you are using radius to solve it. Okay, so maximum of a list of values, or minimum of a list of values, or sum of list of value. Now, if I am asking you find out the difference between all these items and then give me value, then how will do?
Find the difference
So
between
what I
all
will
the
do, 10
values.
minus 15 minus 6 minus 7.
Okay. Then, so it will be in like 10 minus 15, right? 10 minus 15 minus 6
Find
minus
out the
7.
difference between all the values
Okay.
inside an array using radius.
It will be for 0, 0 minus. So here, first we have to store the first element.
1
And
second.
then
Done.
no, not yet.
It's simple. Just do a accumulator minus the item. And then at the end, just
Accumulator.
return the accumulator, right? Simple.
So for the first value, it will be like 0 minus 10. So I think it will be first initial we have to give 0 or anything else.
That's not a problem, no? You just need to find the difference. So initially the value of accumulator can be 0. Let it be 0 minus item. What the problem? Or maybe you can just write the accumulator as initial as the item itself, right?
Yes. So if you give the first here item, then the item on the first iteration, it will be 0.
Yeah, so just make the accumulator of initially you can assign the accumulator as first value in that case. You can just write it a of 0, finish. Not item, item will not be accessible here.
A of 0. So
Right?
a of 0, okay. So here it will be 10.
Hmm.
10 minus first item, 10 will be
That
0.
is okay. I mean, I am just thinking, I am just checking your skills, how we'll do it, but this will work. Okay, no
Okay.
problem. So what we'll do is that next let's discuss on the some CSS questions also. Okay, let's discuss some. So you just do one thing. Just take a list of links and style the second and fourth link. Just open yeah index.html and then okay, you are doing something. Simple question, right? Just you have a maybe 5-6 links are there. Just style the. I just want to check the approach.
So 5-6 link.
Let's get 5-6 links. And how will you write the CSS to style the second and maybe fourth link or fifth link or whatever? href attribute, just write the href attribute. href equals to hash, you write. href, yeah.
Any link, right?
Just write a hash over here. Just write hash. Yeah.
Okay.
The value inside the link can be any value.
Yes.
Link 1, link 2, like this you write. Okay. You just copy this and create 4-5 different links, right? Link 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Okay. Now what I want to do is just style link 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, whatever. So I'm just want to check how you can style specific links.
Okay.
Mm.
So through like external CSS, right?
Yes, yes.
So for without using like class or anything, right? Like that you want using pseudo classes, right?
Why you want to use pseudo class? What pseudo class you want to use? What is coming in your mind?
Sorry, not like pseudo class for nth, like for we can
Okay.
use like
So
for
you are saying you will use
even and
nth child for it.
yeah, and even or and that in that way.
Okay, n child will work. Okay, n child will work. Other than n child, what is there? So n child will work. Okay, you'll write odd, even, or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it will work. Other than n child, what is the other way to do it? Without using pseudo selector, how will do it?
without using pseudo classes.
Hmm.
And like
Okay, go to the index.html. I'll tell you. Go to the index.html. Okay. So in the href of our link number 2, just write here link 2. Remove the hash. No, remove the hash and write link 2. Okay, some link. Okay, and in 4 also write link 4. Okay. Now, so you using pseudo classes, that is okay. That answer will work. Now you see you are having link 2 and link 4 in the reference attribute. Values are there. Using these values, can you write something so that we can um, so I want to style only link 2, or maybe I want to style only link 4 without using pseudo classes. How will do?
using this value from href.
Using this value from href, how to do it?
Okay.
So you are aware of attribute selectors, right? In CSS.
Yes.
Using attribute selector, can
Class.
you not class, attribute, any attribute, link attribute.
At link attribute. Okay. No, actually, I'm not getting it now.
Okay. So you have to just write a link, then you have to write bracket, you have to write href equals to, then you have to write starts from link to. For starting, you have to write, I think, dollar or carrots. I think caret symbol you have to write for starting link 2 or link 4. Then it will exactly style that particular link only with that particular value. Okay, using attribute selector, you will do it exactly.
I need to check for that.
Yes, so these are all common questions in CSS. Okay, CSS output based questions. They'll be asking this kind of combination of selectors kind of questions. And obviously pseudo classes are there. Then they can ask you an kind of animation kind of question using pseudo elements, right? Using after before, just do a. Are you aware of animations, keyframes, transition transformations, keyframes? You know keyframes, how to use keyframes to do animations. Okay, so those kind of questions they can ask. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we have spent a lot of time together. You have any questions for me? I'm done with the interview.
No, actually, thank you for giving me giving me this time so that I can evaluate myself.
Okay.
Now I think I have to study much because uh, like some of the questions which you ask, I was not aware about. So I think I have to work again on
See,
that.
for 2-3 years experience, they can ask a lot of questions, okay? And that will range from level 0 kind of question to level 4-5 kind of questions. So if I tell level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are a lot of questions are there. Means base level, so this question that I've asked you link, this is kind of level 0, level 1 kind of question. Okay, simple base level. Memoization that I asked you is around level 2 kind of question. Dynamic programming that I asked about recursion and everything, that is level 3, level 4 kind of questions. Level 5 kind of questions can be something like there are a lot of LCS and those kind of questions are there using DSA and all those questions are there. Okay, there can be some project based questions, some machine coding kind of questions. There can be practical question like async await using SO. How can you create polyfills using async await? So you can someone will ask you create a polyfill using promise, create a polyfill using set timeout, right? Those kind of level 5 kind of questions. Okay, so you have to understand all this range kind of questions, all these different ranges you have to practice. Okay. And not only practicing, you just need to understand the concept first. What is, if I'm asking what is create a polyfill of a set timeout or set interval, first you have to understand the question. What is a polyfill? Means without using set timeout, how can you create a function which will behave like a set timeout function? That is called a polyfill, right? So those kind of questions you have to understand first. You have to understand the theory behind it. So if I'm asking you how to use call apply bind by, what is the use of call apply bind, how to use it, where to use it, so then you have to explain it nicely.
Yes.
Okay, so practice these questions. and understand the concept very well. Okay, and
Yes.
hope we'll meet again in the next any other mock interview where I'll ask you something on the React side of things also. So prepare
Yes.
nicely, and all the best. And so guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel for these kind of, you will get immediate notification whenever I upload a new mock interview kind of a video. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Siddesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.